Welcome to Evilive, the live media commentary show that never gets the right screen first. Damn. Never. We also answer the question, will the world ever learn about Staten Island vampires? Ever? I think we got as close as we're ever going to get in this particular episode. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, because today we are reviewing What We Do in the Shadows, Season 5, Episode 5, Local News.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it's pronounced.
I'd like to think so. So what are your initial thoughts on this one?
Well, it had a lot to live up to because of the text message that I received. And by the end of it, I was like, yes, I could see that happening if we got a hold of some drug blood. Or some, yeah, drug blood.
Drug blood for sure. Yeah, it was weird because I watched this the first time and I was like, this is crazy. Like, this doesn't make any logical sense with anything they've ever set up before. It's just like random madness, which is very much just like us and some friends hanging out, which is why I texted you. And the second time I watched it, I was like, this doesn't make any sense at all. Like, at all.
Yeah. It just derails so goddamn fast, like right at the beginning of the episode, and it just doesn't stop until the end. It's so great.
There's nothing survivalist about Colin Robinson.
No.
And so for him to take that stance is very strange to me.
I bought into it as the fact that he's a psychic vampire, because he's feeding off the energy that everybody's giving, and he's adding to it by just over the top fucking Home Alone antics.
Right. Interesting. So this is directed again by Yana Gorskaya, written by Sarah Naftalis. I don't recall her ever writing before, but
yeah, that was a new name. I thought. Yeah,
it's premiered, of course, this past August 3rd, and it is a strange episode. I mean, it's a very simple episode, right? Gizmo is off trying to tell his family that he is not going to be around much longer. Of course, we learned that he's done that a number of times already.
Right, does it every couple of weeks.
Yeah, which was a very weird reveal at the end of the episode. I thought it sort of stole the authority of what they were trying to sell.
I think it kind of makes it like two parts. Like it makes it just desperately sad for his mom because of the fact that she's clearly seeing that he's going through something hard, and there's literally nothing she can do except for be there for him. And with him, it's like he's so set on becoming a vampire and doing the final transformation that it's like depressing, because he's constantly having to it's almost like writing your suicide note every couple of weeks. I feel like that's kind of what he's going through.
Whoa.
At
that's
least
heavy as shit.
That's how I saw it.
Yeah. And then, except that he's literally presenting it to his mom every single time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is probably just because I'm fucking crazy and I'm thinking this shit way too much, and I've thought this way too much. But if I was going to off myself, I would write letters to individual people. It wouldn't be like just a sheet of paper that says, sorry, I'm wearing a diaper at least. So it's, yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably my own hangups that it just, I think that was supposed to be funny, but I saw it as just real.
Wow. First of all, I've never thought about wearing a diaper, even though it's the sensible thing to do, because you know what's going to happen. Second of all, I'm way too selfish to write individual notes. Like, if this is going to happen, it's going to be like a, I'm down, it's done type thing, not like a, I'm down, let me plan this out with penmanship. Like, no. Fair. I'm definitely not going to do it.
See, I'm like the other end of selfish. Like, I want people to know why I'm doing it. Okay. And, to apologize to a couple of people.
Yeah, not dig.
But I guess ultimately it kind of depends on how, what the catalyst is.
Yeah.
Like cancer, yeah, it's going to be a thought out thing and look like an accident, even though people get suicide notes. If I'm just like, fuck this shit, whatever, that's probably be just a note pinned on my lapel that's going to be in nice handwritten handwriting.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit.
All right. Fair enough. Hey, Chris, thanks for tuning in, man. Anyone else watching this, let us know what you thought of this particular episode as we dive into this. So aside from Gizmo, I just love how fucking Laszlo calls him Gizmo. of course, focusing on sort of trying to cope with the fact that he is clearly slowly turning into a vampire. We got fucking Nandor being goddamn Nandor, incapable of shutting his goddamn mouth for 2 seconds. I mean, it's like painful watching.
It really is, because he could have walked away at any point in time and been fine.
It's just so aggravating watching him. And I get it's like a setup for the episode and all, but I just want to smack him across his face so damn bad. And for me, Nadja was the hero with the go-bags this entire episode. So Nandor, like, barely even leaks that he's been around for centuries, but it doesn't seem like the news host even cares, because their water main broke out in the street, and then he just happened to be the guy that's like walking along that they sort of grab. I've been that guy before, and so I understand the sort of madness that ensues. But like, he just sort of, does his best to try to say that he's a vampire without saying he's a vampire, but then saying that he's been around forever without actually saying that he's been around forever. And then he goes back home and tells everyone else that he says this, and they watch the TV, and it's like madness ensues. Every single person in that household has a different idea about how to react once people discover that you're an actual vampire. Colin Robinson was the only one that decided to fight back, like, directly.
Yeah.
And I thought that was strange, because they're fucking vampires. They could take any group of humans.
Yeah, right. That's the funny thing. It's like a handful of people walk in, you just hypnotize them and they fuck off, or you just kill them because you're a fucking vampire. Yeah, that shit was funny. I did find it funny that it was Nadja that went towards the get the fuck out bags. When season 2, was it 2 or 3, we got Jackie Daytona. And it's like, motherfucker, Laszlo, you already had that option. Like, why wouldn't you go to that?
That's true. Why wouldn't he have like a glass case that he has to break with a toothpick in it?
Right.
And that's it.
Oh my God, how awesome would that have been? As like, that's the final scene. Door gets kicked in. You just see a silhouette. He fucking books it to his room, just smashes it, and all you see is just a behind shot of him reaching in and pulls out a little vial with a single toothpick in it, and then black.
Yeah, it would be on par to the best silhouetted Indiana Jones films of all time.
Yeah,
like, that's how good it would have been. Oh, that would have been dope. Instead, they had him focusing on some weird 9-step plan.
Yeah,
we only saw 2 steps.
Quite got all of it.
Yeah. So the initial plan was he was going to kill the news reporter, and then upon re-examining the plan, he decided instead of killing her, he was then going to abduct her, but then getting the right-sized bag was the main concern. Meanwhile, Colin Robinson is booby-trapping the entire first floor of their home, and Nadja is focused on getting go bags and having alternate identities, and she is this wonderful farm girl who has a prized milk cow. It's just the greatest thing hearing her fucking accent, or lack of accent.
Her attempt at an accent.
I'm starting to think either they're the most amazing actors, or they clearly can't do accents at all except for their own. Like, I can't decide which it is.
Yeah, I really don't know that. I wonder that pretty often myself.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. I thought Guillermo's family was endearing, and then the sort of cacophony of action with the house was a recurring sort of madness play set that was never resolved until Guillermo finally comes back, and Nandor sort of strikes out at him verbally saying, "We don't need you," and he sort of relents and goes back to his room under the stairs, while everyone else sort of deals with the problem. And it resolves by them ultimately following the newswoman, presumably killing her, to the station, and then taking over the TV station.
That was a perfect ending. I feel like they couldn't have ended it any other way.
So obscure.
Because it's all he had to do was walk the fuck away, and none of this would have happened. Yeah. But because he refused to walk away, it was just a fucking snowball effect with them signing out the news for the night.
It really makes me wonder why this hasn't happened before. Like, if they're so reactionary,
Uh-huh.
this should have happened on literally any given evening. Like,
Right.
someone walks across when Laszlo is trimming a vulva bush, and suddenly we've been caught. They all know. Who else does vulva bushes? Like, they recognize my great grandmother's vulva, and like something.
I mean, it's pretty memorable.
I mean, it was glorious, but not as good as Nadja's. I mean, just to say, like, if this was the thing, it should have happened already. I don't know. Like, for me, this was an entertaining episode, but it wasn't very fulfilling as an episode.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand where they were going with it, where Guillermo's story was the B story, but really that was the A story. And then the B story ended up being the funny, long-winded one. It was definitely weird. It felt very different. Especially with the season.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't quite, like this one. I feel like most episodes, they have a feeling of the season. This one, minus obviously, Guillermo's aspect of it, like the rest of it, you could set it in any other season, anywhere in the middle, and it would not change anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very strange to me because, like, Guillermo is never actually changing. He's always in perpetual state of change. Everyone else has changed immediately.
Yeah.
And I just, as a viewer, as a fan, I want some form of payoff for the duration. You know what I mean? Like, we saw the really wonderful aspects of, like, the creepy wings or like the crazy bat ears and, little things like that, which were very funny and very entertaining. At this point, I feel like they're beating a fucking dead drum. Like this is just like fucking do it already. Like, we're 5 episodes in. We have 4 left before the season is over. And we still have scenes that they showed in the trailer, the official trailer, where he's training to be a vampire and failing that we have yet to see on screen yet. So we know there's still few episodes left before he actually makes the turn. Like, what is the buildup?
But do you think he's actually going to make the turn?
Dude, if they don't, a full season of him mid-turn, that bothers me.
I mean, I could see it, and it would make sense too with the fact that he's Van Helsing blood. Like, he's already taking so damn long to turn that maybe his DNA takes over and kicks essentially the virus.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of on the fence as to how I would feel if he doesn't become a vampire. It's like, on one hand, I agree with you. It seems like, most of this was just bupkis. Like, there was no point of it. But at the same time, it's almost like the joke's on us, but in a good way if he doesn't turn. So I don't know. I've been on the fence with that pretty much this entire season.
I don't think I've ever really thought about it as much as I'm thinking about it now. But Chris brings up an interesting point about the Seinfeld joke about mulva and vulva, about the girl, Seinfeld not being able to remember the girl's name that rhymes with some form of body part. And so they come up with mulva, which is wrong anyway. But it starts to make me think about the dynamic between Seinfeld and Elaine, where they're never quite going to get together because they're really not meant to get together at any point at all. And I've always sort of seen Guillermo as, like, he wants to be Armand. And so I've always sort of imagined him ultimately, if he ever did become a vampire, to be the sort of Armand to Nandor's Louis, I guess. It was Louis, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think they're ever going to do that, which makes me think it is very much like a Seinfeld-Elaine thing. But I do desperately want... I just want Guillermo to get what he wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like, he desperately wants to be a vampire. He's willing to sell out his wonderful family. Like, they dearly love him. He clearly loves them. They have a wonderful relationship. He's a little narcissistic and stuff, and he doesn't sort of, understand the dynamic that's happening in the moment. But that's because he's so focused on this. I just want him to be it. And I don't know if it's like a closing scene of the closing season or whatever, but I just want it. I don't know. Would you be upset if he never became a vampire?
No, because well, again, I don't know. Like, I have a hard time with that because on one hand, it would be funny that that's the perpetual joke. Like, he was never going to get it. Just like in the movie. His familiar never got it. She finally fucked off and became a vampire. So I think it would be hilarious on one hand, but also almost frustrating. I'm sure there's a way that they could finish out this season with him not becoming a vampire and it not being frustrating. Like, I do have that much faith in this series as a whole, but what that would be, I really don't know.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't wear my "Hey, we're being gay over here" t-shirt.
Oh my God. I was
totally
going to fucking change as soon as
that.
I got home too. God damn it.
So we have them and they're in our shop. There's a link.
Fucking fantastic.
I don't know if it's in this link, but there's last episode. There should be a link for that if anyone's interested.
Yeah, you guys need to look. You need to get them.
They're pretty amazing.
Great quality. And yeah, they're fantastic.
They're great. Yeah, so I mean that was kind of the episode. There wasn't a lot to it. It was just Guillermo trying to tell his parents and then trying to deal with the madness of the house, and then of course the house reacting in the insane ways that from time to time it does react.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite part of this episode?
I mean, I gotta say it was either the sinkhole aspect when they're finally, because fuck, we didn't even talk about that. The how they were gonna kidnap the lady. So they roll out in Laszlo's bastard of a vehicle, and it gets stuck in the sinkhole, and they're like, whatever, get out, and start like tramping up to her to catch her, and then it fucking sinks in all the way, and then they go in to rescue it, and that's how they're caught as vampires because the four of them are fucking flying this shit up. But so either that, because that's how you really just completely fuck up. Yeah. Like, we can't get caught. Let's get caught this way.
Let's fly the car out.
Yeah. Or when Guillermo did go through all the traps, like hit all the triggers. Like, that was fucking hilarious.
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
That was such a great ending. Yeah, I think that was my favorite part, is just sort of seeing him like resign, like they can survive without me. They don't need me, even though they're getting themselves in all this trouble. And then he tries to walk out of the house and it's just like the worst Indiana Jones booby traps ever. So great.
Yeah. It was just missing. Well, no, actually there were snakes. Never mind. I was going to say it was missing snakes, but there were snakes.
It was so funny. Did you have a least favorite part?
Not really. I mean, it was kind of a weird feeling episode. Yeah. Like, it wasn't bad. It just didn't, like I said, it didn't feel like it was a part of this season, with like minus the aspect of Guillermo's B story.
Yeah. I wonder if because this is a new writer, right? Same director that we've had a number of times already, but this is a new writer. I wonder if they're just sort of letting people sort of cut their teeth a little bit comedically. Like, hey, just, write these episodes. If we dig it, then we'll make it into the season somehow. Mm-hmm. Because narratively, it has the aspect with Guillermo, but other than that, it's just a sort of weird slapsticky thing, which when you compare it to some of the other episodes in this season, I mean, there's no way you can compare. Mm-hmm. And so I wonder if they sort of blew their load early, which I understand. I've been there.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
You just can't live up to it anymore, the promise. Or, maybe the best is yet to come, or at least as good as. And this was just one of those sort of, middle episodes that, what are you going to do? You got to have X amount.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, if it is going to be something like that where they sort of have, like, aside episodes, kind of, like, actually going almost like the X-Files route, where they would have, an entire season, the vast majority of the episodes were the narrative of that season in one way or the other. And then you just had random episodes that were completely fucking off the wall. Like, they could get away with that, but it would have to be more intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, okay, I changed my mind. Chris, you reminded me.
The dog parade.
The fucking dog parade.
That was amazing.
That was the best part of the episode. I would go to that every fucking year.
There was a Chucky dog, right?
Yeah.
Like the last one, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
It was
fantastic.
great. Yeah, that I don't want that to be my favorite aspect of this episode because this isn't a dog parade episode, but that was adorable.
It was great.
And that's kind of cheating. Like, you show adorable
Right.
dogs. What are we supposed to do? Not like it? Come on, we're human. Of course we're gonna love it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Fuck, those dogs were great, dude. The lumberjack, he just stands out in my head. Fucking hilarious.
Just
God
anytime a dog or just an animal in general is in costume, I'm a fucking sucker for it.
It's hilarious.
It really is.
And then just the seeing the guide being caught like in the fucking flashlight of the fucking weather camera with the girl on the floor and the huge blood streak across the green screen.
Yeah.
That was amazing. And her just slowly pulling the body away while Colin Robinson says, "Oh, we have a little schmutz on our screen here. Ignore that. It's going to be a great day." That was hilarious. Fuck.
Yeah, no, that was great.
It was.
She's just always good. Anytime she's in, she is always good.
Yeah.
And then like the whole, changing their identities so she dyes her hair black. And Nadia's just like, what the fuck?
I guess I wasn't thinking. She's amazing. We can all live together. We want peace. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Crazy woman.
So good.
Oh man. Or when she was like, we can just go run off together, and Nadja's like, yeah.
Together.
Yeah. I just loved it so much. All right, so it's not terrible. It's not bad. It's
No,
good.
it's just
it's
a weird episode.
Yeah. If you had to give it a rating, I didn't prep this, so I don't have the ratings queued or anything. But what would you give it for a rating on this one?
This one, I would probably give it a 4.5.
Oh wow, that high.
Not a 4, because it was still pretty goddamn funny. I was laughing my ass off. But not a solid 5.
Yeah. I would give it a 3 out of 5.
Damn, that low, huh?
I don't think that's low. I mean, it's right in the middle. It's good. It was entertaining. I was laughing. I didn't dislike it. It's just I can't help but compare it to a couple of the other episodes, which were just so fucking good that it doesn't live up to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
That's fair.
They're not being gay over here.
That is true.
I feel like
definitely need more gay.
I feel like everyone's life is enriched by just a little bit more gay. Just a little bit. No matter how much you have in it right now, a little bit more makes it a little bit better.
Can confirm.
That's my point. All right. Anything else on this?
I think we got it.
Well, we have a couple other reviews to try to burn through. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let us know what you thought about this particular episode. Did it live up to the hype that they've sort of built for this season? Or do you feel like it was left a little bit lacking? How do you feel about newsroom humor? I mean, it can land if you're that type of person.
It really can.
All right. Well, as always, remember the evil spells practices live. So get out there and be evil.
At least a little bit. Everybody needs a little bit of evil in their lives.
A little bit. It's like gay. A little bit more evil
It really
makes life.
is just like gay.
You can get some gay evil. It's even better.
Yeah, then it's just well-rounded.